20 psychological tricks that really work. The world is full of smart books on psychology and neuroprogramming. They're made for professionals, but there are also tricks that anyone can use every day. Simple, practical, and sometimes frighteningly effective.
Never start your request with the words, "Can you?" This can subconsciously make the person perceive it as a theoretical question. For example, avoid asking things like, "Can you call the neighbors?" Because the answer yes may mean, "Yes, I theoretically can," but that doesn't mean I agree to do it. Yes, the word "can" sounds polite, but it's better to rephrase your request to, "Please call the neighbors." If you want to be sure your request will be carried out, formulate it clearly and directly. 2. Make the person feel awkward. If you ever want someone to feel uncomfortable, look at the center of their forehead while talking. Most people say this makes them feel as if they're being closely judged, and that definitely doesn't help them relax.
Get to the truth. If the person you're talking to tries to avoid answering your question, just pause the conversation while keeping eye contact. This will make them feel uncomfortable, and they'll most likely keep talking. There's a good chance they will give more details about the question you're interested in, or even start telling the truth if they were lying before. Because your silence and steady gaze will make them feel as if you already know the real facts. If you've just started a new job or training, and you want someone in the office or classroom to treat you better, just ask them to explain something to you. It doesn't matter if you already know the answer. This trick improves the person's overall attitude toward you and earns you a few bonus points.
5. When you ask a question and want to get a yes, try slightly nodding your head while doing it. This trick is often used by restaurant staff to make guests order more food, and it really works.
If someone is deeply focused on a task, for example, having a serious phone conversation, you can simply reach out and take what they're holding at that moment. Most likely, they won't even remember it later. This trick also works the other way around. You can hand something to a person while talking to them, and they might not even notice it. It's super handy when you're cleaning up or moving.
7. If you want someone to do something for you, casually say that they probably won't even be able to. Most people try hard to prove the opposite when someone doubts their abilities. You can also make a small or unusual request before moving on to the main one. This way, you build a connection with the person, and most likely, they won't be able to refuse you afterward.
Same as with questions where you want a clear yes, start nodding a little while you're talking. Funny enough, it makes the person you're speaking with pay closer attention without even knowing why. Here's a great negotiation trick. If you generally like someone's offer, but would prefer better terms, just act a little disappointed. This move can work like magic when the price is too high or the salary too low. 10. Alarm clock trick. The moment your alarm goes off, sit up, clench your fists, and raise them like a football player who's just scored a goal. Sounds absurd, but it really does make getting out of bed easier, leaving you feeling energized and ready to go. Just give it a try and let us know in the comments if it worked for you. 11. If you constantly worry about whether you locked the door or turned off the iron, just say some completely absurd phrase while you're doing it. The phrase can be different every day. For example, say green rabbit and turn off the iron, or gloomy crab and lock the door. Next time you start doubting whether you actually did it, you'll remember that strange phrase, and it will instantly calm you down.
12. If someone is trying to pull you into a fight or some kind of drama, say something nice to them. The old trick of killing with kindness really does make people stop mid-sentence. Another technique is to stay calm and silent. There's nothing more frustrating than being ignored. However, if you're trying to avoid an argument with a friend or partner, try looking at the situation from their point of view. It might help you see if there's something in their objections you haven't considered. If there's a lazy person on your team who's slowing down the entire work process, don't give them a task by saying, "Do this." Instead, say, "Start with this." Psychologically, it feels like less work because that phrase suggests doing just one small thing. Once they finish the first task, say, "Very good, now continue with this." And keep going like that until they've done everything you originally planned from the start.
14. If you have to speak in front of people, don't forget to bring a bottle of water. First, you'll need it because nerves can make your mouth feel as dry as the Sahara Desert. Second, you can take a sip to pause and recall the part of your speech that slipped your mind. The audience won't even notice. And if you're too nervous to speak in front of a large crowd, just admit it right away. It will lighten the atmosphere, calm your nerves, and make listeners empathize with you, because most of them know exactly what that feeling is like.
15. If someone's staring at you on the subway, and that happens pretty often, right? Just look at their shoes. Don't give up. Keep gazing. It might just drive them crazy.
16. If you look deeply concerned every time you see someone you know, eventually that person will start feeling uneasy every time they see you. So, do whatever you want with that information.
17. If someone did something wrong, but you don't want to sound too accusatory, change the way you phrase the sentence. For example, instead of saying, "You didn't close the window before you left," say, "The window was left open all night." The person will get the hint and realize their mistake, and you won't come across as the bad guy.
18. If you didn't sleep well, just tell yourself that you did sleep great. I know, it sounds like nonsense, but it actually works 100% if you say it convincingly. Scientists from Colorado College published a study in the Journal of Experimental Psychology where they found that if you truly believe you slept well, even when you didn't, your brain performs better.
19. People tend to remember best what happened at the start of the day and at the end of the day. Everything that happened in the middle becomes blurry and vague. This is a great life hack for situations like a job interview. Try to schedule it either at the beginning or at the end of the workday. That way, the employer is more likely to remember you among the other candidates.
20. During a conversation, subtly copy the other person's posture, gestures, or speaking speed. This creates a sense of similarity and subconscious trust, but it's important to do it very delicately so it doesn't look like you're mocking them. Got any additional tricks to make things work out your way? Tell us in the comments section. And if you enjoyed this video, give it a like.
These were 20 psychological tricks that actually work. Not all of them are ethical, not all of them are safe, but all of them are effective. Try at least one, watch the reaction, and write in the comments which one worked for you.